Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bharatu Sahaviriyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Gukarastvandakaro Vai Rukarastan Nivartakaha Andhakara Nirodhitvad Gururitya Vidhiyate. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Same theme, that the self is one. Self or the Atma that is thought of to be many, different, varied, is in reality one non-dual. When we look upon each other as different from each other, then it is the habit of the human mind always to compare. And when I find someone, in my opinion, superior to me, better than me, more accomplished than me, that's my perception of the other person, then arises in me a sense of inferiority, looking down upon myself, jealousy towards other person. This causes pain to me. By the same token, if I look upon myself as superior to someone else, because when you compare two different things, either one is superior or the other. Because after all, the upadhis, the body, mind, sense complexes are different. And each one has its own different gifts and capacities. But depending upon how I compare myself to others, when we compare the looks, the weight, the height, the color, the brightness, intelligence, career, accomplishment, wealth, all kinds of, there are many ways of comparing one with the other, and we keep doing it. Whenever I come in contact with someone, in my mind this comparison go on. Look at, we all studied together, look at where he is and where am I. So this duality, that you are different and I am different. It is the nature of human mind to compare and then to have a complex about it. Swami was always fond of saying how only human being has this problem of having complexes. There are two cows, one with shapely horns, another cow with broken horns. If you want to sell these two cows, then these cows will fetch different amount of money. Even though both are otherwise same and giving essentially the same quantity of milk, and still one cow fetches more money than the other. Well, the cow does not have a sense of superiority. One cow does not feel that I am superior to other. Or even if there is a cow that does not give any milk, doesn't feel any inferior. So these creatures, other than human beings, appear to be free from these complexes arising from comparing one with the other. I'm not suggesting that that's a desirable state. Whether we should go back to that state so that we are blissful, no comparison. But this is to compare human beings with other creatures. How other creatures are free from the complexes of superiority, inferiority, I'm such and such, that kind of self-consciousness I don't have. Some kind of self-consciousness all creatures have, otherwise they can't survive. Because every living being needs food, needs to propagate. See, these basic instincts are there in all living beings, and each creature in its own way has that amount of self-consciousness by which it can fulfill its basic needs of survival and propagation. But human being is a highly evolved creature and therefore he has much advanced or much more evolved self-consciousness. And therefore he is conscious of his own self, that I am so and so. Everybody takes the body to be the self, but here the identification of the body and mind is so strong, the awareness of identification is so strong, that there is branding of oneself that I am so and so, which branding happens on account of this strong identification. Not that a dog thinks that he is Brahman, he also thinks himself to be embodied. But there is not a strong identification for the dog to create a complex that I am superior to the dogs or inferior to the dogs. Some dogs are very fortunate. They ride BMWs. And other poor dogs in India are street dogs. But I don't think that the street dogs feel inferior in any way. There's this advanced or heightened sense of self-consciousness. Brings about a comparison which in turn creates complexes, which in turn creates unhappiness. I'm unhappy even if I'm inferior to others, and unhappy even if I judge myself superior to others. In inferiority there is immediate unhappiness. In superiority, some other way there will be unhappiness. Because then I should maintain my edge, and I must work hard. So this is the dukkha. Therefore, if you analyze the sorrow or unhappiness that we feel about ourselves, you find that it all arises from these complexes, which in turn arise from a strong identification with this body, mind, sense complex. And judging and branding myself based on that identification. And then entertaining complex based on that branding, and comparing and then feeling superior, inferior. So how this perception of duality that I am different and you are different, how that perception is the cause of all the sorrow in our life. And therefore the emphasis is on knowing that in reality, in essence, there is no duality, no difference between you and I. Just as a golden ornament is different from the other ornament in name and form and its usefulness. But essentially it's gold, each ornament, it's a little nose ring or a very thick, big, anklet, bracelet, whatever. Essentially gold. Similarly, essential point of view, you and I are not different. This is what Upanishad keeps on saying in one way or the other. And so again the same theme of non-duality and the result of that knowledge, it makes me free from all complexes. And therefore the sorrow born of complexes. And that sorrow, unfortunately, as we said in the morning also, like a cloud which covers the brightness of the sun and so on, so that sorrow covers the manifestation of happiness which is my nature. And therefore, the only way that the sorrow can be eliminated is by removing the cause that causes sorrow. We think that someone else or something else is the cause of my sorrow, and therefore I try to change and correct those things out there, keeping myself intact, and therefore the sorrow comes only in different forms. Because the primary cause of sorrow in terms of complexes has not gone. The only way I can become free from all complexes is to discover that I am dimensionless, that I am one non-dual. Therefore, that theme is brought up again and again by Kathopanishad. And the next verse that we have tells us how there is oneness and how the knowledge of the oneness brings about a total freedom from all sorrow, or being established in the wholeness or fullness or happiness which is one's own nature. Let us look at the page 10, passage 18. Eko vashi sarvabhutantaratma ekam rupam bahudha yah karoti tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam nitaresham. The first line describes the nature of the self, means the nature of you and I. You can call it the description of the Atma or description of Paramatma. Description of Atma, or Paramatma, the self of all. Ekaha vashi, Ekaha, one, non-dual. So the self is one non-dual. This has been discussed a number of times. How consciousness cannot be many, although people arrive at this philosophy that Atma must be many. Such great thinkers, even as Sankhyas, they propound this theory that there are as many Atmas as many living beings. What is the basis of that conclusion? If Atma was one, if what you are is what I am, then should we not be feeling the same thing? If you are what I am, then should it not be that when you are happy, I should be happy? Is it not so? Or when you are unhappy, I should be unhappy. If we are one, it should not be. But what do you find here? We find somebody is happy, at the same time other one is unhappy. Somebody is being born, at the same time somebody is dying. And so forth. We find that everybody is different. How do you explain these differences that we experience? Only way you can explain is, you must be different and I must be different. Then only our experiences can be different. So this and other kinds of arguments are presented by various people to justify their conclusions that Atmas are many, that people, that selves are all different. He says Upanishad, Ekaha, one. And so, what one means? Not just one among many. One means just one, the one, meaning non-dual. One without a second. Normally when you say one, that one is generally speaking in reference to 2, 3, 4, then you call it one, is it not? Meaning that in one, the idea of the other is automatically involved. This is 1, this is 2, 3. Therefore, this one is not that one among many. It is the only one, that's why the one is non-dual, one without a second. Not only first and second and third, but this is one without a second. Meaning that even the one also is not a relative thing, it's non-dual, the only one. It is called Vashi. Vashi means the controller of all. The Atma is said to be the controller of all. But controller is the word expression used for Ishvara. He is the controller. Ishvara is God. Because who is controller? He has created this world. Therefore, he is omniscient. The creator should know what is to be created. Therefore, Ishvara, the creator, is all-knowing, omniscient. For creating, you require also the energy, the power to create. Therefore, it must be omnipotent. Therefore, who is God? The creator, sustainer, dissolver. And for creation, it requires all knowledge. For sustaining, it requires all power. So he must be omniscient, omnipotent. Vashi. Vashi means the controller. But here Atma is called Vashi. The self or the consciousness is called Vashi or controller. Meaning that the adjective that is used for Ishvara here is used for Atma. Remember, understand this. Eko Vashi. Meaning that there is no difference essentially between the Atma and Paramatma. So in what way is Atma, the self, Vashi or controller of all? It says Sarva Bhutantaratma. That is which is the Antaratma, indwelling self of all. By virtue of Atma being the Atma of all, indwelling self of all, he automatically becomes Vashi or the controller of all. Atma automatically controls. You know, something resembling a pot, this is the best that they can do. It's not a pot, really. It's not even clay, I think it's plastic or whatever. Is it clay? Alright. We like pot, but call it pot. This pot is created from clay. Clay is called the material of this pot, material cause for the pot. There must be a pot maker who must have formed the pot. Is called the Nimitta Karan, efficient cause or intelligent cause of creation of pot. And the clay from which the pot is made is called the material cause. And the characteristic of material cause is that it always goes along with the effect, means that when you buy a pot, the clay automatically comes with it. The efficient cause does not come, meaning the pot maker does not come with the pot. Otherwise our house will be full of pot makers and carpenters and tailors and weavers and all sorts of things. But the creator, the maker doesn't come. The material comes along with the effect. So this pot, of which clay is the material cause, clay is the Atma or self of this pot. Why is it so? Because clay, this pot is what it is because of clay. Pot is because clay is. Because if you remove the clay from this pot, the pot does not remain, meaning that clay imparts the existence or isness to the pot. If clay is not, pot cannot be. The pot shines because the clay shines. Whatever kind of attributes the pot has, they all come from the clay. Does the pot have the freedom to smell in a way different from the smell of the clay? No. Can it have the specific gravity of weight other than that of clay? All the characteristics of pot are determined by clay. The pot does not have freedom to be different from clay or to possess any attributes different from clay. The clay controls the pot, you can call it. The pot is controlled, does not have freedom to be apart from clay, to have attributes different from those of clay. In that sense, clay is not controlled by pot. Because clay can be in any other form also, and therefore clay is independent, whereas pot is totally dependent. In that sense, we can say that the pot is controlled by the clay. Meaning that clay does not need to do anything to control the pot. Just by its presence, the clay controls the pot. Isn't it so? Meaning the clay enjoys independent existence, whereas pot enjoys only dependent existence. Pot is because clay is, but clay is because clay is. You don't need pot in order for clay to be there, but you need clay for the pot to be there. So Vedantins will say that pot is, a clay appears as pot. What is pot? If there are 15 parts of different kinds, what are they? Nothing but clay, is it not so? Even though every part has a different shape, maybe, and different vessels may be there, different shape, different names, different forms, and each vessel may have different use also. You put all kinds of things in vessels, they may cook in there, they may store in there, they may carry things in them. Thus, each vessel made of clay has a different name, a different form, a different use. But basically, what is a clay vessel? Nothing but clay, is it not so? The so-called pot is nothing but clay, because take away the clay, there is no such thing as pot that remains. So what is pot? You can say manifestation of clay. Clay manifests as pot. Can you say that? Clay is pot is the manifestation of clay. Clay alone appearing as a pot. Is it not so? Because in the so-called pot, there is nothing other than clay. And therefore, if you remove the clay, there is no such entity called pot remains there, and therefore the pot is manifestation of clay. You can say that the clay has made itself into a pot. The clay manifests as pot, or the clay has made itself into a pot. Can you say that? No, Swamiji, how can clay do that? Clay cannot manifest. Clay is unconscious. It is true. But this is an example. Imagine that clay was a conscious entity. In this case, we will all answer all questions after in the satsang. But here, Atma self is not like clay. Clay is an unconscious inert matter and we call it material cause. But here, interestingly, it is Atma that is the material as well as maker as well as material. So what is the material? Just as clay is the material from which the pot etc. are made, what is the material or substance from which the universe is made? If you analyze what this pot is, that analysis will lead you to discover that this is clay. Similarly, if you analyze any name and form, what will it lead you to, Now, a scientist, physicist may say that will lead you to energy, because what is matter is nothing but the wave of energy. But what a Vedantin will say, if you further analyze what is energy, it will turn out to be nothing but consciousness. But that is not scientific. Because clay is the energy is out there. I am the investigator and the clay is what is the energy is investigated and therefore, now that is physics. But what is consciousness is myself and therefore that ultimately if you understand what that energy is, you will come to Vedanta to understand that what is energy is nothing but the consciousness, meaning the one who is investigating is what is, the universe is nothing but the one who investigates. How can Swamiji? You are this universe? Yes. How can it be? Can there be even an example of that? Vedantin will say yes. Example is that of dream. In the dream world. So when I dream like this and when I am talking to you in my dream, imagine. Where did all these people and everything that is here, where did it come from? When I went to sleep, I alone was, there was nobody else, nothing else. And when I wake up also, I alone am, and in between we have this whole dream world. Where did the dream world come from? The only explanation is that I, the dreamer, became the dream world. However, when I am in dream, I do not realize that I think that you are different. I am in the dream, the same problem remains. So only when I wake up that I realize that how stupid I was. In the dream, a dog chases me and I'm running, and he's chasing me, and then I trip, fall down, a little injury, and I wake up, then I realize there is nobody. Then I laugh at myself. The dog that was chasing me was I, and one who was chased also is I, because no other substance is there. Only this one who goes to sleep is the substance from which the whole dream world is made. Because when I wake up, it all gets folded up in me. Therefore, it's I who became the dream world. The dream is an example. Where the drashta, the seer, the subject becomes a whole world of object. Even though because of ignorance I take the subject-object duality clear in the dream, but when I wake up, I realize that all there was just one appearing as many. So Dakshinamati Stotra says, Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye svatmanam evadvayam. This one realizes prabodha samaye, when he wakes up, then realizes that I am the self of the whole dream world. I am just one non-dual. Similarly also, when we wake up, now you don't have to wake up in that sense of waking up, but then this is compared to dream, by the way. What we call waking also is often compared to a grand dream. But Swamiji, this is not created by me, it is created by the cosmic mind. So this is a projection of the cosmic mind. Projection nevertheless. And therefore, the subject-object duality that we are experiencing right now also becomes negated when we realize that our true nature is nothing but consciousness. So what is consciousness. And therefore, what is the substance from which everything is made? If the dreamer is the substance from which the dream world is made, what is substance from which the whole universe is created? What do you think it is? It is consciousness. Consciousness alone has become one and manifest as the whole universe. Just as the clay manifests itself as the pots and pans, so also one consciousness manifests itself as all this world of names and forms. The model is like dream, just as the dreamer self only manifests as the whole universe of dream, and so also here, I, the self, one consciousness alone, manifests, you can say, become the universe, manifests as the universe, appears as a universe. So that's what this verse says. Ekam rupam bahuda yah karoti. It transforms itself into manifold forms. A translation, the self, who is the indwelling self of all, transforms himself, manifests himself, appears as this whole universe of names and forms. This is how Upanishad teaches us non-duality. By going to the very cause, we just look at the effect and names and forms, and since I identify with the name and form, therefore I automatically take you as different from me. So let us go to the cause. What is it from which you are created? What is it from which I am created? Then we realize that everything is created from one consciousness. But Swamiji, wait a minute. You won't ask this question, but I'll ask you. You give example of clay and pot and apply that to consciousness. But clay is subject to change. Clay can undergo a modification and can become the pot. But consciousness changes. How can it shape itself into all these names and forms? So clay is a real material cause. Consciousness cannot be a real material cause. So Vedantins have a term there. The clay is the upadana karanam, material cause. What kind of material cause? That material that undergoes transformation called parinami, the transforming material cause. Whereas consciousness is also material cause without undergoing transformation, meaning that this is just an appearance. That itself shows the mithyatvam. The consciousness, the changeless, how can that be the material cause? Because material cause must undergo change, transformation. Consciousness, without undergoing transformation, becomes the universe, meaning that it's just an appearance. Swami, you mean that all this appearance? This sitting here is all appearance, meaning there is no substantiality at all? I'm just an appearance? No substantiality? No. Because when you examine something, then all matter turns out of energy, which is not a substantial entity, and then you turn to analyze that, just consciousness. Thus, ekam rupam bahuda yah karoti. The one that transforms itself into these manifold forms, the self or the consciousness, Ekaha, one, non-dual, because there is no second consciousness. Vashi, it is as though the controller, as we said in the morning also, that if controlling requires an effort, then even God also would slowly and slowly get exhausted with that effort. And therefore, even controlling also is merely by the presence. So one by who by presence as though controls it, or as though. No, there is no real control. As though controls everything, as though becomes everything, as though as though it becomes everything, as though controls everything, by just being what it is, by mere presence. Now comes Vedanta. So, as we said, when the physics investigates what is the truth of this universe, it takes matter and then does various things by subdividing into its what's so-called the fundamental building block called the God particle, or the boson particle, because the Bose, he sort of theorized this thing. So, in his honor, they call him boson particle. So, according to them, God particle is the most fundamental building block. By understanding that, you understand the whole universe, which is out there. As far as physics is concerned, the reality is out there. In the very investigation it is taken for granted that what I am investigating, the truth is different from me. Is it not so? That's why he's looking out there. But what does Upanishad say? Tam Atmastam, the next line says, Tam Atmastam, the one that is dwelling in the heart. So where is that consciousness, where is that Atma, which is the cause of whole creation, which has manifested as the whole universe, which is one non-dual? If you want to investigate and arrive at that, where do you look? Not out there. Tam Atmastam. So you look now at your own self, you look in your own heart. So this is where the method of investigation of physics and Vedanta, this is where you part the ways. So from physics, it becomes so-called metaphysics, it becomes. And therefore, the scientists will say, they will not join us, they will part the ways. Because they continue to assume that what we are looking for is different from ourselves. Although they do say that the observer also affects the observer and stuff like that, but that is a different thing. But I do not know if they have any idea that observer is not different from observer. That non-duality is not arrived at. Cannot arrive at, because it starts with the assumption that what I am searching for is out there. He excludes himself. They realize that the system should include the subject. But still, inclusion is not such that subject is all. They include, and then in order to arrive at, do the calculations, whatever, it's a very complex thing. But after all the complexity, also the conclusion is that whatever is the fundamental cause and whatever name you give that, whether you call it God particle, but still it is out there. And you can never find the fundamental particle or whatever you want, whether you call it wave, whatever you want to call it, you can never arrive at it. Today it is God particle, and the next day, after 10 years, God one particle, etc. They will keep, because it is thought to be different. What is this? This is what Vedanta calls mithya. What's the cause of mithya? Maya is the cause of mithya. Meaning it's all appearance, that they understand that on one hand. That being the case, there is no finality about anything other than yourself. The only thing about which there is certainty is yourself. That I am consciousness. And and that everything is conscious. That is only certainty. Otherwise, there is no certainty in terms of arriving at what is the fundamental cause. Therefore, Vedanta says, where should you look for the cause of the universe? For God, where should you look? Where is God particle? Tam Atmastham, the one that dwells in one's own heart. Wait a minute. On one hand, you say that it's all pervasive. Now you say that it's dwelling in the heart. If it dwells in the heart, then how can it be all pervasive? Sort of. Again, sort of dwelling in the heart. Like saying that my face is in the mirror. Although every surface reflects a light, but mirror is a special surface where my face is very clearly reflected. So where do I go to look at my face? Even though every surface is surface, maybe reflecting light in its own way, it absorbs most of it. And so here the mirror is one where I can clearly see my... So that's why I go. So also, where do you go? To know the Atma, Atmastham, in your heart. But heart does not mean this physical heart. But still the word heart is not used. Atma is body, within body there is heart. But then Yoga Shastra says that the seat of the mind is in the heart. And by heart ultimately it meant the pure mind, sattvic mind. So where do you experience I, the one self that manifests I in the heart as though? So where there is the experience of I, that is where you investigate to arrive at the true nature. That's why Ramana Maharshi said, Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah aipatat. So, to investigate what is the nature of reality, he said that look at the self, look at aham, look at the I thought. Even I thought is not Atma, but look at I thought. And again, see where the I thought arises from. What is even the source of the I thought? Then that I also does not remain. The source of I thought is nothing but the consciousness. Aipatatyaham nija vicharanam ahaminashavaji. When that I thought also resolves, then what remains is consciousness, the self. So this is the Vedantin's way of investigating the truth about the universe or truth about myself, which is the same. So Upanishad says, Tam Atmastam. The self, one non-dual consciousness, which is supposedly the creator of the whole universe, which dwells in the heart, meaning that which manifests as I or manifests as the very self. Ye anupashye dhiraha, again word dhiraha, anupashyanti. This Upanishad is very fond of the word dhiraha. We came across that word number of times. But yesterday, how we studied that passage, which says that God has created the sense organs and mind always outward looking. And therefore, they always look out and they are not as though designed to look at the self. So who is Dhira? Who is this discriminating one with fortitude and patience and fortitude? That even though God has supposedly made the sense organs and mind outward looking, He transforms them and makes them inward looking. That's the real dhairyam. God may have done anything. What has He done? He has made the mind and sense organs looking out always. Tasmat parang pasyanti. So therefore this person always looks out. Because they are only designed to only objectify the world. And therefore he said that you cannot know the self by the mind. By this mind, which mind? Which always, which normally looks out. But then again said, Manasave, but it must be known only by the mind. By which mind? Which has been thus turned inwards. Meaning that it is possible to turn the mind inward. We should not say God has made, but this is a way of saying. Ignorance that creates these notions and makes me look outside, and that is how we can say that because of ignorance, the mind, sense organs are all outward, searching for the 10th man. When the conclusion is that the 10th man is lost, you search for the 10th man out there. It's only when I am told that you are the 10th man, at that time I stop looking out there, first of all. And then the tube light happens, yes, I'm the 10th man. As long as the 10th man is searching for the 10th man, he can never find him. Is it not so? The very intention of searching or very effort of searching is a denial of himself, because unless he denies the fact that I am the 10th man, he couldn't be searching outside. I hope you all remember the 10th man story. When he is searching for 10th man, who is he searching for? His own self. So as long as there is a conclusion the 10th man is lost, and based on that conclusion he is searching for the 10th man out there, that cannot happen unless he denies the fact that I am the 10th man. Unless that fact is denied, he could not be searching for 10th man out there. And so an ordinary ignorant person searches for happiness out there. I want to be happy, then get this and get that and do this and do that. And they were always searching for peace and happiness and love out there. That is what the turning around is. The whole orientation and nature of mind is turned around. That mind on its own today, because of ignorance, always runs out. It wants love, runs out. Wants peace, runs out. When I go to this place, then there is peace for me. Which is there, I guess. This place is very peaceful. This place is very peaceful, is it not so? You mean the peace is in the place? Where is the peace? Where is the agitation? Where is the disturbance? Out there? You can say all these birds are whole 24 hours and they're very noisy. But is the noise out there? Noise also is in mind. Where the noise is, that is where the peace is, and therefore we think that noise is out there. So it's a very noisy place. There's all traffic constantly going here. But where the noise is in my mind. And therefore, where the peace has to be found out is in my mind. No, this has to happen. That is called dhira. Now in a way conviction has happened that in fact what I am searching for has to be discovered from myself. He analyzes that all the achievements, attainments that I have done so far has not yielded what I am searching for in life. Parikshalokan, karmachitan, brahmanan, nirvedamaya, nastikrita krutena. This person takes stock of things. So has been chasing and being driven by something as the ghost is behind him. But then it takes some time to take stock of things. And what have I achieved in my life? Yes, from nobody I have become somebody. From a pauper I became a millionaire. So I did become a powerful person, a well-known person, wealthy person. I did become. That's one way of taking stock of my life. But other way of taking stock is, how about my satisfaction? What is my progress as far as self-satisfaction is concerned? Am I any better than what I was before? Because self-satisfaction is the measure of happiness. And therefore, am I more satisfied today with myself than I was 15 years ago when I just had nothing, and now that I have $1 million? Am I more satisfied with myself? That's the question. I have now a big house, I have a lot of things, but am I? As far as the measure of self-satisfaction is concerned, this is what the thinking person looks at. Dhira, thinking person. But after all, the purpose of all the achievements is to discover satisfaction with myself. In that, I haven't made any progress at all. Perhaps in the chase behind all these things, I may be more dissatisfied today than I was earlier. Meaning that I need many more things for the same quantum of satisfaction than what I needed 25 years ago. If this is the way a person thinks about the life, then he realizes that all these achievements cannot give me self-satisfaction, can give me comfort, can give me power, can give me many things, no doubt about that, but cannot give me self-satisfaction. That has to be discovered from myself. This is dhiraha, the one who gains his insight about the life. The basic conviction changes that what I am searching for in life is this self-satisfaction, that's called happiness, and that it cannot be found outside, has to be found from my own self. Then the whole process, then his life, whole process will change. He no more becomes a chaser, he no more drives himself. Now he becomes an inward-looking person. That's how, with his very conviction. His all attitudes will change, but that is Shraddha changes, his conviction changes. That what I am searching for in my life, that success has to be found as myself, not out there, then the whole process will change. His attitudes will change. No more a consumer, becomes a contributor. Now the values become very valuable to him. Because of this chasing, etc., very often you have to compromise. Well, because you can't, Swamiji, in business you cannot always, you have to do things. So compromising values were justified. Now he doesn't have to. His values now are become valuable. His attitudes change. The whole life changes. That is how, in course of time, it turns around the outer flowing mind into an inward flowing mind. Like turning the course of the river, which goes, imagine the river which is flowing from a higher level to lower level, turning around to its source. So the mind always running out from inside to out to the objects, like a river of the mind is always running out. To turn around that river, that's called dhira. And therefore, this upanidhyatma atmastham yenu pashyandi dhiraha. That is how you look at yourself, look at your heart, means now you become focused upon yourself, centered upon yourself. Not self-centered in the sense, but centered upon the self. You become centered upon self by becoming selfless. By becoming selfless, you slowly become centered upon yourself. Tamatmastham ye anupashyan ye dhiraha anupashyanti. They anupashyanti, they see. Although pashyanti means, anupashyanti means seeing in keeping with something. Meaning that this person sees the self in keeping with the instruction of the teacher. Now he has to come to the teacher. Even having turned the mind inwards, then the next is, now from a karma yogi becomes a jnana yogi. He's still a bhakta, but now the nature of devotion has changed. The commitment is the same. So now he goes to the teacher, and then that is what teacher says, hey, you are what you are looking for. Tattvamasi, that thou art. When this is what he listens from the teacher. Not the teacher says only one sentence, he takes years to gather to unfold that sentence. Anupashyanti, he sees his true nature in keeping with what the teacher and the scriptures have revealed to him. Tamatmastam yenupashyanti dhiraha, those who see themselves as this one non-dual self, which is the indwelling self of all. Not only I am the indwelling self of this one, I am the Sarvabhutantaratma, indwelling self of all. That's how they see themselves. So what happens? Tesham sukham shashvatam netaresham tesham shashvatam sukham. I'm reading this only. They enjoy a lasting happiness. Happiness is qualified by lasting happiness, sustained happiness. Is it possible to get lasting happiness from anything? Something, even if it appears to give happiness, it just gives happiness for a given time, in a given situation, conditional happiness. Lasting is unconditional happiness. Then lasting is not limited in time. When can happiness be lasting? When can happiness be eternal? When it is already there. Whatever is created is going again to perish. Happiness, if it is created, will also be perishable. It can be eternal only when it is not created. It is already existing as the very self and self-shining. Thus, when he sees his true nature as consciousness, he also sees that as self-shining, one non-dual, boundlessness, happiness. Tesham sukham shashvatam. For them, there is the word lasting. Shashvatam means lasting, undecaying, lasting happiness. Meaning uncreated happiness. Meaning already existing happiness. Then he sees himself as happiness. Not becomes happy. He finds that I am happy. Happy is what? One who experiences happiness. He sees himself as happiness. An experiencer also is only temporary. Sees himself as happiness. Tesham sukham shashvatam. They alone can gain or they alone can become the lasting happiness. Na itaresham, again Upanishad says, not for the others. Others means those who are looking for happiness out there. Can never gain, even if they get happiness, it's going to be what? Only temporary happiness, fleeting happiness. Only really only a notion of happiness. Na itaresham. So, itaresham means those who are not vivekan, those who are not discriminating, those who have not, this conviction has not changed, they still think that what they want is out there, they can never get that lasting thing. Because looking out for happiness, that is denying the happiness which is myself. Just looking out for the 10th man is denial of the fact that I am 10th man. How can you be happy by denial of the happiness? So understand that all attempts, it is not that just because you are earning money or getting power that you are necessarily indiscriminate. It is how I look upon them. If I look upon them as source of happiness or peace, then that is a denial of myself. Otherwise, money is wonderful. It's empowering me. All wealth and power and fame, all of them empowers you to become better contributors. To contribute something also you need something. What can I give? If you ask me money, can you give me a loan of $100,000? Forget it. Because I will ask you. The thing is, what can you give when you don't have? So that way it is. It's nice to have the empowerment, which is fine. Meaning that now this person, even if he works and gets things, he knows the use of that it empowers me to become a better contributor, not a consumer. So those who are consumers can never experience this happiness, which is their own self, because the very act of consuming is self-denial. So when you stop denying yourself, tesham sukham na shashvatam na itaresham. Now there is no comparison. In the lasting happiness, there is no question of an individuality. Therefore, when individuality is not there, there is no other individual to compare. So no complexes, and there was no question of feeling inferior or superior, becomes free from all the causes of unhappiness. This is called non-duality, where there is no question of comparing with what is one, limitless. So, again, this mantra, like any other mantra, but keeps on emphasizing, in every mantra gives us the same but different way of contemplating upon the self, which is what this mantra also did. Okay, we will continue. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vivadine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri